What's going on?
What up, big dog?
How you doing?
Great, man.
Yeah, so for the audience, it's Chingo Bling, former rapper, comedian. Are you still rapping?
I have two projects coming out, even though I'm retired.
Uh-huh.
So I've got an album with my boy Any Means dropping in a couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and a new single called Long Road Home with my boy Uno G from McAllen, Texas. So I'm technically retired because I've been like really focusing
That
on
doesn't
stand-up.
sound like technically retired.
You know, because rappers they don't retire, they renegotiate. But I like really do it like for fun. So
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it still generates income. There's still revenue in it.
How much revenue are you making now?
I'd rather not say just because Uncle Sam, you know, he
Uh-huh.
he want to get.
How much
all
could a person make if they were to get in there?
in the music business?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I think it depends on like your following, your audience, your catalog, your back catalog,
Mm-hmm.
streams really,
Mm-hmm.
streams.
Most is off of streams, huh?
Yeah, a lot of the royalty residual is gonna be off of streaming.
So like one hit, how much could somebody make off of one hit? Like these one-hit wonders we hear out there.
If they own it. See, that's the thing about a lot of these one-hit wonders. If they signed to a record label and that intellectual property is controlled by this multinational conglomerate,
Mm-hmm.
then I got to look at your contract. I got to look at your paperwork. Have you audited them? Did they recoup?
Mm-hmm.
You know, who owns the master? What does the fine print say? Because, like, if you signed a deal back before ringtones and, like, your hit was back before ringtones ringtones aren't even a thing anymore. But, like,
Yeah.
back before some of the legal language covered, like, digital streaming and stuff, then good luck, bro.
So the ones that did it right though, like are they
If you're
making
independent.
money off of every single time somebody purchases that song or downloads it or
I mean, if you're independent, yes.
yeah?
If you're independent and you're like really like owning the master and controlling it and maybe going through, you know, a digital distributor like So South or one of these companies, then it's pretty transparent. You can see like, okay, YouTube, mechanical royalty. It gets real in the weeds with some
Mhm.
of this stuff, but yes, you can make a lot of rappers make a really good living, especially Texas rappers. A good
Why is
living.
it different in Texas?
I would say mainly because, and the people that I'm referencing are gonna be like a lot of the Houston rappers from that era of like your Slim Thugs and your Paul Walls and people
Mhm.
like that, who tend to be independent, you know, control the art, like the master, the intellectual property. Um, you know, still get hired to perform. You know, there's still like that whole side of it. There's like the merchandising side of it.
Mm.
Um, just kind of like an established brand, and especially when it comes to like Texas culture, I mean, you're able to just encompass such a big state. Like,
Mhm.
just we export. You know what I
And
mean?
nobody's loyal to their state like Texans are loyal.
Dude, I remember being in New Jersey trying to order a Texas homestyle burger, and they looked at me like, "Do you know where you are?" And I was like, "I order them back home."
Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah, dude, not every state gets their own burger.
Damn.
Yeah, Texas does though.
So you did some songs with Mike Jones, right? Or was it just one? How many songs? Did you do?
With Mike Jones, I think it might have only been one.
Yeah. So what was that? Do you get residuals off of that?
Yes.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
How's he? Is he still blowing up? He was blowing up quite a bit when I was younger.
Well, that was, I mean, obviously it was a frenzy. You know,
Mhm.
it was a different time. He's still in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just way more mature and experienced. So even though he might not be all over TV, he still makes a lot of moves behind the scenes. So
Is there?
yeah.
Sorry. Is there still beef between the different coasts? And where does Texas fit in with that? Because there was East and West Coast that were like at it, and even to this day, I know there's still some bad blood there. But it seems like Texas rappers tend to stay out of it quite a bit.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, we're in our own bubble. I mean, it's like third coast.
Yeah.
That type of stuff doesn't really concern us. Like,
Mhm.
if it's not good for business,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess these days, bro, like I'm just like married with kids, and that stuff is just so far removed. It's just it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, come on, bro, we need to be worried about high blood pressure and cholesterol and like, what are your T levels, brother? You know what I mean? It's like, what's your morning routine? You know, what's your morning routine? Stuff like that. But in terms of East Coast, West Coast, man, like, I think a lot of that was just like that whole psyop of just in the 90s, the whole like Diddy, Bad Boy, shit, Diddy, what's going on with that guy? Like, where the hell is he?
We don't have enough time in this
Yeah,
podcast.
like-
yeah, what happened to that? Is he getting out now? Like, last I heard, they were dropping all of those charges. Like, for the most part, like, except for some of the minor ones. But then it just went away.
Well, when all that stuff started coming about, like the allegations and, oh shit, there's a jet with digital devices and like his house in Miami was rigged with cameras. This dude's the hip hop Epstein. He's got an island, but for rappers. Like, when all that stuff was coming out, my mind was just like, okay, where was the money coming from? Like, is this really some kind of like blackmail operation? Like, who's funding it? Like, are there tapes? Who's on the tapes? But when the trial was happening, all we kept seeing was like, okay, they were like a freaky ass couple, and they'd pay these male strippers, and like he had tapes, and he was abusive towards her, and you know, she stuck around, and even after they broke up, she was still organizing freak offs, and like, you know, it was like, okay, so it's a lot of freak offs, you know, male strippers getting paid. There's some cuck stuff going on. I'm like, well, where are the cameras in the walls? Like,
Yeah.
where's the Epstein stuff? Like, where's like the? I was like, is this dude Mossad? You know what I mean? I was like, might still be.
A lot of influence in those parties.
Like, maybe the feds went in and it was like a mop up, tie up loose ends. Like, maybe they're like, those are our tapes now. We need you to endorse certain candidates.
Well, how much of this stuff are they involved in? Like, how much of this do they have their fingers in to kind of like dictate? Because anywhere where you have those kind of powerful people showing up to parties, you're going to be sneaking your people in there to try to like sway influence amongst the party and the crowd and who they're talking to, and you're going to try to get in, right? Anytime there's a group of powerful people, especially in the entertainment industry, like, there's going to be intelligence agencies that are getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. So whether or not they were involved in that, to me, if you look at the mop up, the cleanup afterwards,
Like, where are the tapes? Yeah.
Certain.
Are there tapes? What tapes?
Yeah.
You know, are those the feds' tapes now? Or was he always an agent? Because remember, Kanye called him a fed.
Yeah.
And then there were some real suspicious things. Like, in one of the lawsuits, there was a mention of like an alleged shooting happened in a studio, but Diddy had connections with this one gentleman who was like, had connections in the LAPD. The news reports the next day go out. It's like, no, it was a drive-by. It happened outside of the studio.
Yeah.
And it was no longer like him and his son with the dude in the restroom, blood, witnesses. So I don't know. And, you know, he tried to sign me back in the day.
Did he really?
Yes. Did
No
he?
shit.
Did he really?
Did he really?
Did the diddler diddle? No.
Is that
Find
part of
out.
the contract?
Nah, man. Like, I didn't sign the contract.
Yeah, good.
So everybody thought I was crazy because I turned down a potential offer of working with somebody who was respected at the time. You know, somebody who was considered like a hit maker. He finds talent. Like, this dude's got the Midas touch, and he's got 4 TV shows on TV at the time, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know, man.
What was the one where they were a bunch of rappers were in the house? What was that one called?
Making the Band?
Making the Band. That's what it was. Do you remember Dylon?
Yeah, Dylon.
my 5 greatest rappers: Dylon, Dylon, Dylon,
And Dylon. And Dylon.
and Dylon. That was fucking hilarious. Dave Chappelle's spoofs on that. God damn it, that was like gold.
It was
Chappelle show.
Yeah, bro.
It was too good for us. You know what I mean? Like, it was feels like it was before its time. Like, and it was just every episode that came out was just gold, and then he disappeared to Africa. Or whatever.
That whole thing, bro, like, that was so weird. Like, even to this day, like, you hear different theories and angles. It's like, okay, well, they tried to screw him over. They owed him a ton of money. He stuck to his guns. He was like, you know what? I'm bouncing. I'm extracting myself from this equation. I need to get away. The pressure's getting too steep, too much stress. So there's that. There's that narrative. Then there's also like, is he even the same guy? Like it goes deep. So
I mean, when it comes to money like that, and if you feel like you're getting screwed over, that'll change people. You know, when he was just doing it for the love of the game at the beginning, and then you start to see what's actually behind this machine that runs and the evilness that that control it. I could imagine even for him, you're going to grow a little bit spiteful, a little bit anger, or resentful to the system. And then a lot of times you can't even see the people that are making the decisions. Like you're just seeing the front men that they have that to communicate with you. But yeah.
Yeah, I could only imagine at that level. I never made it to that level.
Mm-hmm. You should have signed with Diddy.
Yeah, right? Maybe I'd be a witness or a victim.
Definitely be a victim. So
might make for a better podcast.
So how'd you go from rapping to comedy? Or were you always just doing both?
I didn't really do stand-up until about 11 years ago. So the transition was I was in the rap game at least already about a dozen years, independent, turning down the Diddy deals and just navigating, being independent, but also kind of being like having a niche, like having my own lane, like kind of like it's comedic rap. He's kind of a character, you know what I mean? Like, it says some outlandish stuff. And really, in a nutshell, I was just getting burnt out. It was just feeling like, okay, I'm spinning my wheels, like, just running into a lot of headaches with touring and promoters and things like that. It just started getting, like, just feeling, like, really frustrating, where it's like, okay, this doesn't feel like what I signed up for. Like, I wanted to feel freedom and be independent, but things were just getting a little old and boring. So I started to kind of like take a step back from music, and that's when the opportunity to do stand-up came about, which is perfect timing because I was able to leverage and utilize the skills that I did have going because I was already making skits and like early just YouTube, Facebook stuff. I had just done like my first few Canelo skits and impressions where I throw on a wig and
those are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, throw on an accent, throw on a wig and kind of like find a funny angle with him. My numbers started going up. So even though I was taking my foot off the gas of touring with rap and kind of chasing my tail and releasing music and stuff, my numbers were still like I was still finding, being viral and finding a new audience. Like 12 years deep into the music game, and some people were like, bro, I'm just now hearing about you because Facebook and because these Canelo sketches, or you did some voiceovers of Dragon Ball Z or what have you. So the opportunity to do stand-up was like perfect timing. It was just really just going to be like a fun side quest, like a hobby, just something to kind of keep me sane and express myself. Thankfully, people showed up and they were patient with me as I kind of like learned the ropes. And
yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah, especially with stand-up. But thankfully, I had some really good seasoned comedians around me that, I'd share the stage with, and they'd show me the ropes. So I'd kind of, at first, the show was structured where I'm kind of like the host and kind of mess around for 10 minutes, bring up a guy that's seasoned. He might do 15, 20. I come back out in a character, do like 15, mess around with that. Bring out another guy that's seasoned, then I'd close it out with another like 20 of some beginner level stand-up. But little by little, just year after year, it's like just like anything, right? Like, how do you improve? How do you reiterate? How do you edit? How do you throw that away? Polish it? Stage tips that they give you, writing tips that they
working with the audience too, right? Interacting with the audience. Are you one of the ones that gets angry when people start chirping from the crowd?
Nah, man. Nah, you got to stay focused. Like, a lot of times while you're up there, and if there's like a chatty table over to the right, or there's like, oh, the dude, bachelorette thing happening in the back, or
those are the worst.
Drunk table, overzealous fans shouting things out, thinking that they're helping you. People who've never been to a comedy show don't know how to act. So there's like a mix, but a lot of times, stay focused. Don't address it. If they're too busy laughing, then they can't get distracted by chatter. And then, like, your opening acts will come out and tell you, too, like, dude, there's a lady in the front row, bro. She's real distracting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be on the lookout for that. Or there's, like, this weird drunk guy over to the right. So you just kind of navigate it.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, if it gets to that point and it's like, okay.
Where do you perform?
Oh, man, all over the country. Comedy clubs.
We're at in Houston now.
Some theaters. Houston Improv.
Okay.
Yeah, Houston Improv.
How many seats do they got?
They're about 400 and some change.
Damn, that's a big crowd.
And we do a big weekend there.
Yeah.
Every year, about 6 sold-out shows.
So how many days a week are you doing there, like when you're in town, not touring?
Oh, honestly, Houston?
Mm-hmm.
I really only do Houston about once a year.
Oh, really? Well,
Pretty much.
so just to stay fresh, you just tour constantly, like year-round?
Pretty much, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, just to...
Have you been to the mothership yet? Here in Austin?
Dude, I haven't.
Joe Rogan's new club?
Have not. Hopefully soon. I see my boy Sam Tripoli's going to be there soon, so I'll try to go get some tickets, check him out. Dude.
They do this. So there's like the big room where they have like the big, like the big shows, Joe Rogan and friends, stuff like that. Whoever the big headliner is in town, they'll have them typically like Friday through Sunday or whatever, and then they have a smaller room that's kind of like a more intimate setting where you're right there with the comedian. Everybody's kind of surrounding them, and they do more of like the younger comedians that are kind of making their way, that coming up, and they do this one called Bottom of the Barrel, where the audience gets to write like something that they want the comedian to talk about, and they throw it in a barrel, and then they have to put their name on it too. So,
Oh, shit.
so it gets really interesting, man. It's really cool to see. It's cool to see like these young comedians figuring it out, you know, because I've been around this dynamic in the security world, kind of like you're there, you just see these guys all the time. So it's cool to see them gaining confidence and elevating their game, and then you see like some of these younger guys, they start to get more opportunities, like Saturday Night Live. We just had a couple guys that, you know, we've been watching perform at the mothership for quite a while that, you know, they just got signed on by Saturday Night Live.
Cam? And
Yeah, well, you can see like the ratings have dropped. They plummeted since they've just started attacking the right. Like, and it's not even funny comedy. That's the worst part. If you're gonna do it, at least make it fucking funny.
Yeah.
A lot of this shit is just like, hey, we need a joke that's gonna bash Trump, or we need that's gonna make fun of MAGA, or, you know, whatever it is. And it's just like, look, dude, you're not gonna fucking get ratings with this.
And you know what? When it comes to that, I sometimes try to like zoom out and just think to myself, all right, pretend we don't live in America. Like, just pick a country, you know, Russia, Venezuela, Korea, whatever. And just from the outside looking in, how would it look like? How would it look if intelligence agencies or certain government, I don't want to say maybe deep state operatives, you know, they got connects with Hollywood and writers, you know. It might be a deep state congressperson that, you know, has a buddy went to college with, or somebody, and that everyone's in on the agenda, on the take, right? And it's like, okay, it becomes the company culture. And from the bottom up, what staff writers do you hire? Where do you hire them from? You know, are they all Ivy League? Did they all come up through a similar program? And they kind of know like what's going to keep them employed and what isn't, or what sketches are going to get made and which ones are going to kind of find a better angle on that maybe next week.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, like, this is what it would look like. Like, it would literally look like that, to where, to the common layman, they're at home like, oh, honey, SNL's on. And you're just, oh, man, they're funny. These are some good sketches. And it's like, oh, you think you're just watching sketches. But there's a thumb on a scale. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
I'm
crazy comedian.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Maybe there's a thumb on the scale. A little bit of influence here, a little bit of influence there, and it starts to affect the end product where, for example, you know, Jimmy Kimmel. Obviously, that's a breaking news thing where there's different ways to look at it, right? For the most part, most people don't want the government getting involved with, like, FCC pressure, or like, was it just a firing, or was it he just gets to be the scapegoat now. Now he's the victim, or he was going to get canned anyway. He ain't got no viewers. But all in all, I really look at media differently now, because it's like you just said, like, come on, bro. Y'all could have done this fair and balanced. Like, if you're going to be Alec Baldwin and every week you're going to be Trump, and I'm I don't have my pom poms up for anybody. So before anybody, these Marxist Mexicans start to misinterpret what I just said, um, like I don't have my pom poms for anybody, besides the Lord. But but yeah, it's almost like, hey, if we're really gonna make a balanced, funny show, like dude, SNL in its heyday. I know I sound old, but it's like, come on, bro. They've had a real nice history, like a real nice legacy of just cast members. And not saying that all the people they have on there are not talented, but it starts. We're just living in this weird time, bro. Where like there's just so much division, and we're being manipulated so heavily,
Yeah.
and media plays such a large role. For example, circling back to the Jimmy Kimmel thing, it's like to some people it's like, oh my god, bro, he literally just made a joke, or he literally just made a mistake. He said Charlie got murdered by his own side or his own people, or it was a MAGA guy, or it was a far right guy who thought he wasn't far right enough, and anything, all this stuff. And it's like, it's kind of like, it's just a bunch of like fog of war. We don't know what the hell's going on. And then years ago, to somebody like myself, it's like, bro, Jimmy Kimmel's been kind of just stirring the pot, saying inaccurate stuff, and it was just a joke. And my staff writers, like the thing about that clip's been going around again. The thing about, you're unvaccinated, hey, go eat your horse paste, Wheezy. Another guy's having a heart attack, but he's vaccinated. He followed the rules, and he cares about science, and he's in on the science and protecting each other. Step right in, and it's kind of like, all right, bro, you're throwing shots at other doctors who are doing different kind of research with actual respect in medicine, but you're just making it sound like it's horse goo and everyone's going to the pet store and we're just a bunch of hicks.
Yep.
And Joe Rogan's an idiot meathead. Joe Rogan and his followers are idiot meatheads. You're dumb if you think ivermectin's going to help you. And your science is not my science. Meanwhile, this dude's spewing all this stuff from his little podium, and the minute there's any kind of backlash, it's like, I'm the victim now.
Oh, yeah. They love playing the victim. Do you think he got what he deserved by getting fired?
I think it was just part of a larger play, and in a way, I feel like it played into their hands. The powers that be, whoever that may be. I feel like it played into their hands. It was like a perfect little chess move for them. It's like, we're not talking about, yes, people still talking about Charlie Kirk, but now there's another martyr named Jimmy Kimmel. And he's a victim now. It's like, bro, you didn't really have no viewers. You were already kind of in limbo. How I feel bad for all the staff that are probably going to lose their job. That sucks. A ton of people associated with his show are going to go. It's going to be an economic, it's going to be economic effects for a lot of families. And that's very unfortunate. And it turns into this combo of like, okay, how did that happen and who called that shot? Or is there overcorrecting happening? Because it's like, just kind of, you could have just left him alone. Because now it turns into this argument of like, hey, bro, we didn't ask. Like, nobody asked for, in my opinion, a lot of people didn't ask for like government meddling in stuff like that. Was he a propagandist? Maybe.
Well, it's also like anything with Trump's name attached to it that's going to create buzz, like controversy. The number of clicks that he gets for stuff like that. Like I had Ian Carroll on here, and we put out a post where he was talking about Trump. And it was, Ian, he does his homework. He brings receipts on everything. And so, when he comes out and we put out this post, 700,000 views. Like, it's just like, Jesus Christ, man. And it's just because his name is on it. So I could see how these guys, they might probably start off more moderate, somewhere in the middle. Maybe they lean a little bit here, a little bit there. But then once they start to see the action, the clicks, the their stuff going viral, their faces everywhere, even if it's they're in the wrong and they think that maybe they're just kind of like making up bullshit, like it's probably hard for them to not go after that money because then they start getting sponsored from companies and they expect those same numbers from them.
You mean like Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I think a lot of these guys that
it just feeds. It's like The View. They come out
because they know if they're talking shit about Trump or MAG or whatever, it's going to get 2 or 3 times as many views as anything else that they're putting out. Like that's what the consumers want. They want drama. Whether you're the villain or the hero, they still need it. They need to consume, content.
Yeah, we need our bread and circuses.
Yeah, and especially when they see the ratings are plummeting, how do they make it go back up? What used to work back in the day? Talking shit, making shit up, getting people to hate me.
And it's been like since Homeboy came down the escalator.
Yeah.
It's been like, oh shit.
Which was
banking.
gangster shit the way he came down.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I wasn't paying attention too much at the time. I was just like, okay, all right, the real estate guy. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really get it. And I still to this day, right when you think you get it, it's like, okay, what the hell's happening? Right when you think you're it's like, okay, what the hell's happening? Like, what's
I
going
know.
on?
It's like been a lot of weird
there's
decisions this year.
Yeah, okay, well, I thought we was going to get this. What's going on with this? And
yeah. We're deporting Mexican students, but yet then we're bringing in 600,000 Chinese students in the coming future. What the fuck is going on with that?
Or, I mean, we were promised mass deportations, but they are not keeping up with probably even like Obama's numbers.
Yeah,
even like Biden's, or even like Alligator Alcatraz shut down after a month.
Yeah, did that shut down?
If I'm not mistaken, somebody could fact check me. I'm not Ian Carroll. I don't have all the receipts. I'll just be saying shit.
That's how I am too. That's why I bring guests on. They can fact check me in a moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun though, and we're all just trying to figure it out. But all in all, everything we've discussed these past few minutes is just kind of like the media is sure does like to stir the pot for whatever reason, whether it's just like ratings. Like otherwise, we're gonna talk about boring stuff, or we could talk about the boogeyman. Mm-hmm. And then, and like I said, and then a lot of people feel let down. It's like, hey, bro, I thought we were promised this.
Yeah, we're gonna make America great again.
Like, hey, Tom Homan, what we doing?
People are still getting stabbed on buses.
Oh yeah, that was very unfortunate.
Do you know anybody personally that's gotten deported? I've always been an active guy, training, pushing myself, but once I learned how caffeine forces your body into that fight or flight mode, I realized it was wrecking my recovery. I'd get the boost, but I couldn't really rest. That's when I came across Methylene Blue. It gives me clean energy, sharper focus, and I could still recover. Honestly, it changed everything for me in the gym, in business, and in life. Then I discovered alpha lipoic acid. On its own, it's a strong nootropic, boosting choline, which drives brain and body performance. But when you combine it with Methylene Blue, it's on another level. That's why I worked with the partner to create Magic Bullet, Methylene Blue plus ALA. For me, Methylene Blue was powerful on its own, but with ALA, it's the only way I do it now. Right now at BlueVitality.com, you can pick up a full bottle of Magic Bullet for just $39.95. Use my promo code SJ to get 20% off the regular price. If you're serious about your training, your focus, or your recovery, this is the way to go.
Not personally. I know like people who know people who they're like in the process of, like someone who knows someone. But honestly, like, a lot of Mexicans that I know, it's like we have our family back home, like, back in Mexico, right? Where at least where my parents are from. I'm American, but, you have like, relatives that never left. They still want to be in Mexico. And then you have like cousins who got their citizenship, who like now live over here or have lived over here for years, and they're just, working, minding their business and staying out of trouble. And then, like people who is kind of like, hey man, my mechanic, I don't
but
ask
he's good.
I don't know. Yeah, and he's cheap. I don't ask too many questions, or like, hey, the guy that does the yard.
Yeah, he never asked for overtime pay. Hey, come on.
He's got
Well, I just wonder. We're having this conversation, and I can't imagine what it's like for for somebody to get, say they've been living here for 15, 20 years, and then they find out that they have to go back. Like, what's that journey like for them, uprooting what they have here and moving back there? Are they even bringing their belongings with them back down there. And then when they get down there, obviously you're working here. There's bountiful work here in America, and then you get back down there, and there's like slim to nothing for jobs for them to work. And then how are they being received by their own community and their family, knowing that, oh yeah, they kicked you out, like you're coming back, loser, kind of thing.
I think it depends. Like, if you came over here as a grown ass man, and you've been here for like you said, 15 years or something, it's like, bro, you had all that time to get your shit together. You knew what it was. It's a cat and mouse game. For example, growing up as a kid, if hypothetically, my dad's a citizen now, but hypothetically growing up, if like, he might have overstayed some stuff and like, he's not up to date with some things. If I had come home from school and my sisters were like, hey, something happened today. Dad got deported by immigration, his paperwork, whatever, Mexico. It wouldn't be like the injustice, the outrage. I literally like can think back and just be like, okay, so are we all going back to be with him? Are we all gonna just stay
what
here?
does happen in that instance?
And it's one of those things where it's like, never in my mind would this thought come to mind. My father was kidnapped.
Right.
Our community is under attack by these masked men. It's like, come on, dog. You knew what it was. Now, when it comes to maybe like the dreamers who, like, bro, you were 6 months old. You literally have never been to Mexico. Like, you damn near are American. That's where it might get a little dicey in terms of like, man, I feel your pain, bro. Like, that's precarious. But for someone who came as an adult, still doesn't speak English, never made an effort, like never set money aside for an immigration lawyer, never went through the steps, got in line, did the paperwork. It's like you're probably just kind of planning, like, all right, do we self-deport? What do we do? What are we selling? Do we move? Especially depending on like where they're from. Like, for example, if you're a Salvadorian, El Salvador is really nice right now. I want to visit El Salvador.
Yeah.
I mean, it's safer than America. We've got beaches. So if I was illegal Salvadoran, I'd probably be like, man, I'm about to go back to the motherland pretty soon. Either they're gonna pick me up. Now you probably don't want to end up in that Secot or whatever it's called with all the where they got the MS-13, that big mega prison. Probably don't want to go there.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, you probably don't want to go there. But the beach.
Yeah. I mean, it's the cost of living down there is cheap. We went to Costa Rica, was it like 9 months ago now, something like that. You been to Costa Rica?
Yes.
God, they are so gorgeous.
Yeah, they're chill too. They're all like pura vida.
It felt like a combination of like Greece and I don't know, Hawaii in some places. You're looking at this and like we went down there and I mean we're staying at a resort's like a beach bungalow, like steps from the water from the beach, and it's like a couple $100 a night. Like that same thing would cost 10 times as much, maybe more.
Yeah.
Here in America, and then there's just like plentiful beaches everywhere. There's surfing, like everything's
chill vibe,
half price, and then there was nobody there. Like I don't know if it's just low on tourism season, but it was hot, and there was maybe 3 or 4 families staying at every resort that we were at.
Oh wow,
like gorgeous
stuff.
stuff.
Had a good time or found a good spot.
Yeah, I guess we did. We didn't even really plan it. We never, but but it's just gorgeous. So, I mean, considering what's going on in the world and inflation and the minimum wage is growing, it's just creeping up just a little bit, but then everything else is just soaring. Like just to buy a house nowadays, nobody can fucking afford a house. Even people that can afford it, they're like, is this a good investment?
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Like you're saying, I'm a homeowner. You don't fucking own the home.
Yeah.
You're not going to own that shit for 20 or 30 years, depending on what kind of, whatever you're signing. You could buy a $500,000 home, and by the end of the interest rate in the 30 years, you're paying like $800,000 for something that you're not going to even probably be able to sell because nobody can afford it.
Property taxes, HOA, and it's unfortunate that in this country, the American dream is just slipping from people's hands. We were promised we were going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. We let Elon and Doge up in there. Some of them left, some of them stayed. We still printing a shit ton of money. You know what I mean? So like the whole thing about, fiat, governments printing money, what's up with precious metals, and then everything you just said about home ownership. That's why young people in New York are looking for answers. That's when what's the guy, Zohad, what's his name?
Oh yeah, I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah, this guy, the new guy,
Mm-hmm.
he comes out promising all these radical ideas of like everything's too expensive in New York, and people are like, oh, this guy's talking to me. Turn this up.
Finally.
And then he's just like rent control or price control this and government run grocery stores and all these things that really don't fare well. They don't teach us economics in school. These public schools in America, they're not teaching you economics, bro. They're just teaching you little indoctrination, Marxism, pronouns, and shit like that. So when this Zohad, Zaid, whatever his name is, pops up on the scene, young New Yorkers are just like, oh, this might be my guy.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks my language. He's against fascism and authoritarianism or whatever. And it's like, all right, bro. So what's his stance on like policing and crime?
Mm-hmm.
Because people dig up old tweets like police are bad or what have you, right? But yeah, that's literally what's happening in this country is like everything we just said. It just feels like, okay, this is not the American dream that we grew up with, that we were promised, where one income, you get your white picket fence, maybe take a vacation, just be responsible, go to work, and there will be jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those got shipped off, and then you flood the zone with cheap labor. American wages go down.
Yeah.
They keep printing money. So now here we are talking about El Salvador and Costa Rica. I mean, shit, Thailand, but that's a whole other different time zone.
I haven't been there. You been there?
No, but just I met some of my jiu-jitsu buddies in Portland, and they mentioned that they go out there and do a whole like a jiu-jitsu camp and stuff like that, and I started looking into it, but a determinant is like, man, different time zone, like it's gonna suck trying to like keep in touch with family and stuff.
You know what we found? So we ran into some Western or like Canadians and Americans when we were out there, and what a lot of people I'm starting to figure out that they do is they don't buy a house by themselves. They'll buy a house. They'll go in on something, say in Costa Rica or whatever, and there'll be like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of these people, and they'll go in on a house together, and then they just share it. And so they might live in Costa Rica for 2 or 3 months and just surf, and then they buy another one in Canada or they buy another one in France or whatever it is, and then that's basically how they go. And they don't always travel together, but they just kind of like overlap, and sometimes they'll stay with each other and hang out. And I was the more we were talking to these people, I was like, that's not a bad way to fucking live, actually.
Yeah.
Instead of having to pay probably Costa Rica mortgage is probably like around $1,000 a month, I'd say, for a nice place. No, you're paying a couple $100 a week if you're sharing it with like 4 or 5 different couples. And it's just like a timeshare without having to get roped into a timeshare.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, maybe this is a transitioning of, like kind of like the society, the kind of like what's expected, like you were talking about this American dream. What if it's not really an American dream anymore? It's like an international dream that society is shifting to. And it's not so much about, this is where it is. This is the land of milk and honey. What if milk and honey is everywhere? You just have to find your pockets and your people. And you have to be flexible and stop being so like structured in this like way of thinking of like, this is what my parents did and their parents did, and this is what I'm going to do. And, how many people get stuck in one place because them or their spouse cannot leave their family? And that's big in the Mexican community. Like my brother lives in San Antonio, and he's stuck there. He's got all these ideas. He wants to come, but he'll never do it because his wife, that's where her family is. And, Mexican families are very traditional. You don't leave the family.
Yeah. There's a lot of good in that also. But I feel you, like, we have to be realistic with where America's headed and where it's going in terms of, are we just an economic zone where you got H-1B visas? You know what I mean? Like, are we just basically, like, for example, I hear these arguments all the time about immigration where it's like, well, what about these poor Muslim refugees that are, like, trying to escape whatever's going on? It's like, okay, why don't they ever remain in region? Like, is there a stable Muslim country that can maybe take some of these folks or stay within region? Why maybe go to another Muslim country? You know, nothing against Muslims, but why does America have to be the landing zone?
I know.
You know, almost like Star Wars, like that one little planet where you got all these, you know, people in that bar. But it's like, why do we have to be and I get it. It's like the arguments are like, well, because, you know, the Statue of Liberty says that thing on the thing, you know, the Statue of Liberty. And it's like, okay, what about Americans? You know what I mean? What about I'm America first. So what about like our casualties?
I'm America only.
Yeah, America first and only. Yeah, for sure. For a shit show. So, for example, we visited Hiroshima recently. I was doing some shows on military bases. So we hit like Korea, Japan, and stuff like that. So we got to visit, how do you say, Hiroshima or Hiroshima?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
one of those.
Either way.
One of those. So first we took a bullet train to go check it out. America, where's our freaking bullet train?
No shit, right?
Anyway, we ain't got one. So we're in this beautiful, safe country, Japan. You know,
I gotta visit. It looks
not
so
very
cool.
diverse, but just they have their culture and they have their polite society. And there's no litter, there's no crackheads. Nobody's gonna push you onto the train tracks. Nobody's gonna light you on fire while you're trying to take a nap and things of that nature. So we go to Hiroshima, where this bomb was literally actually dropped. We went through the museum and saw, you know, some impactful images and impactful information. But you step out into the city, and it's like, okay, well, I get it. I mean, they had to rebuild, and it's like, wow, this is like really nice. And I'm like, what bomb hit Oakland?
No shit, right? No shit.
You see what I'm saying? And if we really start to look at and tally up fentanyl deaths and things of that nature, you start to get real pissed off because it's like, I don't know what the actual figure is, but it might be like 300 and something a day Americans dying off fentanyl. Many not by choice. It'll be like teenager at a party. Hey, man, you want half a Xanax? I got it from my friend. Oh, is it really? Okay, cool. Damn, had fentanyl in it. And you experimented, and you weren't a junkie. You weren't a crackhead. You weren't out looking for drugs. You were just a kid popping a pill with your friends. And, but yeah, if you look at our casualties, when it comes to that chemical warfare, you start looking at stuff different. Where it's like, okay, what if you went to Oakland and say, look, you got two choices. You know, hypothetically, it could be a really bad bomb. It'll be really, really bad for a lot of people. But you'll rebuild. You know, it's like,
you get bullet trains.
Yeah, and you get a bullet train, and it'll be clean. Or the other pill is, man, they just smashing and grabbing, in and out, don't want to be there. Like, everybody's having to close up, can't go to the mall. I mean, I was in Seattle and Portland recently doing shows. You go to the Target to buy some socks. You got to click the thing, wait for the person with the keys, because they stealing socks.
Oh, my God.
Everything's behind glass, and it's like, Japan don't do that.
They don't have to. Yeah, I heard, speaking of the bullet train, there was a conductor that was 10 seconds late on dropping off his passengers, and he gave everybody on the train a full refund and gave them a sincere apology for being
Honor.
10 seconds late. Dude.
Honor.
Yeah, exactly. It's honor that's like passed down in those generations. Like, it's wild. Like, people stop, and if they see trash, they stop and pick it up. They don't wait for a highway cleaning crew to come and get it. Like, they take great pride in their country. You know, so.
Yeah. It was very impactful. I was walking around with trash in my pocket because you can't find a trash can.
Yeah, wow. That's weird.
And then, like, I was the rudest person around because I'm out in front of this little boba shop, and I had to take a phone call, and you just feel rude. You're just like, I'm out here on the phone. Like, people don't even do this. And then you go in, you order a drink, and they're like for here or take away type thing. It's like, I'm going to take it. And I'm thinking, like, I should be allowed to sip as I walk back to my hotel. But it's like they literally pack it up, seal it, close it. Everything's very closed and put away in this little specific, like, drink container bag to where it's like, here you go. Do the right thing, brother. You know, we're watching you.
Follow him.
Yeah, we're watching you. Don't walk on the wrong side of the sidewalk. They'll hit you with the little X. They're like, no. They'll hit you with the X.
How long were you there in Japan?
Japan might have been about a week.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what were you there for again?
Touring for the military, doing shows.
Oh, that's cool.
The bases.
You do a lot of military shows?
My buddy Patrick DeGear, he's been doing those for about 25 years, and he took me on 2 of these tours. I call them deployments.
Shut up.
Yeah, I heard you call the restroom the head, and I was like, yeah, that's what we call it. You know, 0600. That's how we tell time.
Yeah.
But
Got 13 deployments under my belt.
yeah, dude. Thanks to my buddy Patrick DeGear taking me to these deployments. The first one we did was Middle East. We did Djibouti, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. Beautiful, rich Arab countries. We also did Djibouti. Not as beautiful, not as rich. But I'm talking about like Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait. Everybody in Kuwait gets a check. They're allowed to dig their oil and sell it. Crazy concept. And you know, some of these malls, some of these airports, it makes our infrastructure look like total
Dog
crap.
shit. Yeah. But yeah, everybody still wants to come here.
Exactly.
Isn't that weird?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
This country's falling apart, but yeah, it's still the landing zone for everybody.
Landing zone for
How
sure.
good of a job do you think Trump's done so far?
Honestly, man, on this term, the funny thing is this: a lot of Mexicans were brought up and indoctrinated with Marxist beliefs through the public school, especially if they make it through one of these colleges and universities. They view a lot of things through the lens of victim and oppressor. Victim, oppressor, I'm a victim, this person oppressor, victim, oppressor. They just line and sinker, take it. So when I voted for the orange one in 2020, I got a lot of backlash. So now they still ask sometimes in the comments, like, hey, so what's up with your boy Trump? What's up with this Epstein list, homie? Like, you know, you still got this fool's back or what? And it's like, hey, bro, not in the comments. Like, come to a show. We'll talk about it. Because, number one, you're just not going to be able to have any type of productive conversation online.
No.
No one, there's no context at all. But to answer your question, some of these anti-Trump Mexicans might like the fact that I'm not all in. Like, if they just hear me out for a second, you'll hear that I also have a long list of grievances. They might not line up with your list of grievances, so you're still going to be mad. It's like, you want me to be mad at him because he's deporting people. I'm mad because there's still a lot of criminals out here, dog. Like, what are we doing? Tom Homan, what are we doing? I see y'all cleaning up D.C. I need y'all to clean up Houston. What are we doing? So I feel like we were promised, you know, we're going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. You know, we're still spending a lot. And I understand that some of that big, beautiful bill spending is supposed to be strategically helpful for some things we want to get accomplished. I feel like a lot of things are not America first. I don't know what the hell Cash Patel been on. I had high hopes for the guy. I'm thinking, like, finally, we're gonna get Dan Bongino and Cash Patel in there. These guys are gonna play police.
Yeah, it's like on a football team when you you do this blockbuster trade and you get these 2 badass dudes and it's like, yes. And then they suck.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, bro, what are we doing? It's like, yeah, nah, man. We saw Epstein hung himself. He ain't sell nobody to nobody. Yeah. And it's like, hey, dog.
He's found no proof that Epstein, what was it? What did he put out the other day?
If I had it, I'd give it to you.
Yeah, he said, like, we found no credible evidence that Epstein trafficked these girls or anybody else was with him.
Like,
what the fuck?
If they had pulled me aside, like, I'm okay with my government lying to me if you got a good ass reason. If they were like, hey, Chingo, if Cash Patel was like, Chingo, let me holler at you. Look, man, this is what I got to say on TV, but we playing 6D chess behind the scenes. Like, look, so now, see, the way the chessboard, we're going to do a double jump here because now we got the Epstein tapes and we got the list, we got the leverage. Now the deep state, we holding against the deep. It's like, work with me. So, Pam Bondi. It's like that meme of the Pawn Stars, where it's like, hey, man, I'm trying to sell this thing. It's like, best I could do is get you hate speech laws. And it's like, hey, dog, Hey man, we ain't vote for hate speech laws, bro.
You see Trump released a picture of their text message chain.
Yeah,
Talking
yeah,
shit
yeah.
about-
And I told her, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
can you imagine, like, if the president of the United States is taking a snapshot of your private text messages and posting them online? Like, what the fuck?
I wonder if like,
And I like Trump, and I'm like, what the fuck were you doing here, buddy?
yeah,
Like, that's
I
like,
don't know.
that's private, a
Yeah.
private conversation between you and her, you know?
It's the art of the deal, Sean. That's how you've got to nudge him.
really get her.
Yeah. She knows she's on she's on the edge.
I kind of like that though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like
pretty
I mean,
big.
get the deal done, but at the same time, it's like, damn, you try to hire people, but you don't know what type of agenda, like, and you try to reel people in. And I thought we was gonna be America first. So with that being said, I do have a list of grievances. It does feel like a little letdown.
Let's hear 'em.
And I mean, that's part of it, which is like, we didn't ask for hate speech laws, right? I thought it was supposed to be free speech. Y'all doing a whole lot of stuff that benefits Israel. You know what I mean? It's just like, please, no new wars. Like, I used to brag about, like, man, it's no new wars. And it's like, okay, hold on. We going to war with everybody. And I get it. Like, if we got to go to war with the cartels, there might be a cool play there, because to liberate Mexico, a lot of people in Mexico are not liberated because they're having to escape. Like, you got these little narco guys in some of these little towns and cities going around like, hey, this is a nice beauty salon you have here, lady. Sure would be a shame, if you were on our shit list. And it's like, oh, this guy's selling DVDs. Everyone's got to pay a tax. And now you're just thugging everybody. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, what are you going to do if I don't pay you? Okay, you'll see. Oh, shit, the DVD guy is no longer here with us. He's
just disappeared.
Yeah. Or he's dead. So now, beauty salon lady, what are you going to do? So I feel like if a lot of that got cleaned up and eradicated. So with that being said, it's like, okay, I'm okay with America having a posture and do certain things that, for example, the hemispheric defense. Like, hey, man, Panama, we need our canal back. You know what I mean? Venezuela, don't be on no bullshit. And I know there's weird coincidences, right? But Venezuela, like, it's a shithole right now. It used to be such a rich country, and it's a shame. And they sent all their criminals over here. So we talk to people, when we meet people from Venezuela, especially if they still live there and they're just like over here visiting, they're like, oh, it's safe in Venezuela right now. They're like, all the people that were terrorizing us, he's like, they're over here now. He's like, so when we visit America, that's when we have to watch our back. They're like, but Venezuela's cool now.
Damn.
So when it comes to like some tactical, strategic, hemispheric defense things like Greenland, why do we need Greenland? We don't want China and Russia starting to encroach on some shit.
Yeah.
So some of that stuff, like I do believe in like peace through strength and things like that. We can't be out here looking weak in any capacity. But at the same time, bro, please, like, don't. Like, some shit we got to stay out of, and I get it. Like, I think just the other day, Trump said something about Bagram Airport, because America left billions of dollars worth of tools, which probably is already on the black market, sold through Ukrainian arms dealers and Taliban and God knows who else. And warlords have our shit now. They're fucking trying to learn how to use our badass goggles. So I get it. Like, that airport was strategic. So I understand, like, hey, man, we kind of might want to need to get that back. So at the same time, it's like, hey, dog, hold on, man. What we doing? Because we going to war in Chicago. We're going to war with the cartels. We surrounding Venezuela, Iran. We just dropped some shit on Iran.
It's fucking everywhere.
I said, man, I was just bragging. I was like, man, no new wars with this guy.
It feels like we are already in World War III. Like, it really does. There's just no definitive team A, team B. But I feel like there is a liberals versus conservatives war that is constantly in play around the world at any given time. Depending on who gets elected, in which election cycle, it feels like it's a never-ending war that happens. And, some country will move in on one place because they don't like the leadership. And then they'll overthrow their government and then place somebody new. And then things will calm down here, but then they get a fight in a fight with another country on the other side because now they don't align with politics on that side. And so it's just like this constant ebb and flow of, you know, the temperature and the environment of the entire planet now. And now that we're all connected through, you know, the internet on a much higher level now with artificial intelligence, it's like we're seeing the world evolve in real time right now. You know what I
agree,
mean?
bro.
And which is really weird for our generation because none of this shit was there when we were growing up. We didn't have any of this shit. You know what I mean? Like our phones have fucking cords that, you know, like the little spiral cords. And, you know, the first time they came out with the wireless one where it had the big antenna that popped up, we thought we were the shit if you were seeing like in front of your house on that, right? Yeah. So to go from that to this whole new sped up world, and our kids have been born into this world. They don't know what we lived in. Mm-hmm. So I think we're seeing it rapidly evolve. And then once they get quantum computers that start to integrate into the mix here, like I was talking to Duncan Trussell about that. And these quantum computers, dude, none of this encryption stuff that we have anywhere is going to be able to stop. Yeah. It's the master key to get through anything now.
Privacy is over.
Yeah, there's going to be zero privacy.
And
whoever
won't be
controls
able to
that.
And you can't tell the difference between real and fake.
Yeah. I don't know the direction it's going to go. It's definitely not. It's not slowing down. It's not staying the same speed. It is. We're going warp speed into the future right now.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
It's curious. I mean, and it really makes like you value like the simple things like comedy, like stuff that's
family,
still,
going to church.
Yeah. So it's like it really makes you hold all these things that you cherish that you kind of took for granted back in the day. It makes you hold them closer to the heart because we're all we got now. Yeah. These governments aren't going to be looking out for us.
Yeah. And earlier, a minute ago, I love everything you said, and how you just said all these different countries, you see these power plays, you know, this fight for power between one wing and another wing. I view it as like there's so many different lenses that to view things, and every once in a while I'll put on my communist, like where I let me see how this plays out when it comes to communism. Mm-hmm. So I feel like communists are still very much so in play with everything you just described. Even if, for example, we still don't know, there's way more questions than answers when it comes to the Charlie Kirk thing, right? There's a gazillion. Was there a trap door? Why haven't we seen all the footage? And who took the tape? And was that this? Was that AI? Was that shooter this and that? And who paid who? And who made that call? And was it this country? Or was it a state-sanctioned political hit? And so on. But imagine if communists operating through a political party who, let's just say, hijacked a political party, and they're able to have, let's just say, Antifa. Like, okay, we got street soldiers. You know what I mean? The funding is going to go here, and it's almost like a trained terrorist cell, like you would see in another country. It's like a guy who probably used to be trained by us or what have you. But long story short, imagine if just the powers that be are like, we made the call and the money's flowing, and he's got his goons and they've got their rhetoric and their ideology, and you know they've got foot soldiers and they're somewhat organized. So to where it's like you can make it look like it was a furry, and it's like, well, it kind of was a furry. It's like, okay, but with the cooperation of who? Using what tools? What funding? And just really, like, we really don't have the answers. We really don't know if it was that country or these people or that people. But even if it doesn't, even if that scenario I just described doesn't play into this particular case, you can see that making sense in another particular case. It's like we could literally put political hit jobs, like a hit out on somebody, hands clean. Let's say we want to burn a city down. All we need is to see the right angle of ICE manhandling some brown person who will probably have his face covered. We won't even know who that really was, but it'll be Jorge Floyd or somebody, right? And then, boom, bricks appear. Businesses board up, and we need chaos.
Oh, they can orchestrate this overnight.
As it is, there's already a cultural revolution. And if the media is going to cover for you, and just say, oh, it was his own people. It was a
Mm.
right. It was an extreme right who said he wasn't right enough.
Yeah.
And it's like the media is covering for you. The comedian gets to come out and do a joke.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's why like podcasts, like that's why these are so important, because this is the only free speech that these like people that are consuming information, they're not getting it raw. You know what I mean? So you can't trust ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, even Fox. I don't trust Fox.
No.
I
Fox
don't
News,
trust any of those.
Fox News are owned by the Murdochs, and they're not even American.
Yeah.
So
Fucking wild, dude.
so there's that.
So I want to get something a little lighter here for us.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that Canelo Crawford fight?
You know what? I had to watch it on the replay because I was too busy. Long story short, but I had to go to an after party that I was hired for. So I'm like ironing. I got the rental car and all this shit. So I watched it on replay. And my prediction was wrong.
You thought Canelo was gonna win?
I thought so, only because I'm a layman.
Mhm.
And anytime people would ask me, I would tell them, I don't know a whole lot about boxing. My initial take was, Canelo, he's getting older, but he's still not all the way out of his prime. Like, he's still not all the way old and washed up. Like, he's getting there, but it's not his time yet to just totally fade away. I know that he has a strong chin, good experience, like boxing IQ, defense, strong, things of that nature. However, the little that I did know about Bud Crawford is that he was strong as shit. I've seen him deadlift. I was like, this motherfucker's strong.
What was he deadlifting?
I don't remember the amount, but it was like, hey, man, this dude is fucking strong, because it's like that amount just compared to like his frame, it looked crazy. I've seen him wrestle. I was like, this dude could wrestle. And I felt like that would play a role if they got in the clinch. And if you notice, like when they did clinch up, he always had an underhook.
Yeah.
He'd kind of manhandle Canelo. He'd kind of like manhandled him. And his base was real good. When he finally did kind of square up with him, he'd have an angle, but his base was just real strong. And that's kind of like all I really knew about him. I was like, I think I've heard he's fast, things like that. But man, it's like the footage I saw is Canelo just trying to like tee off on these huge golf swings.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's just like absorb, counter, deflect, pop, 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 pop. Hit him with 5-6 piece.
Yeah. He could have gone way more offense if he wanted. I think he knew he had it in the bag by like the 5th or 6th round. He's like, I'm just going to take it easy. And then I think the last 2 rounds he turned it on again. But
yeah.
I
think after the 6th round, he really started to kind of like, okay.
yeah, I don't even think he was going 100%, honestly. I thought he
still had a lot of wind.
Yeah.
And then what tripped me out was Canelo's corner guys, Eddie Reynoso. When Canelo goes to sit down, he opens up his jaw real big, and they give him the water, and they're like putting the little Vaseline or whatever, and that dude Eddie's like, hey, wey, ya, wey, ponte las pilas, wey, hey, cabrón, like, venimos a ganar. Like, he's just like, hey, dude, like, snap the fuck out of it. Like, we came to win, dude. Like, fuck it, let's do this shit. But it wasn't too tactical. Like, it was just very, hey, así, pum, 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 tú nomás estás, pum, pum, pum. And I was just like, hey, dog, you gotta give him better advice than just boom, boom, boom.
I don't think he knew either. Did you see the interview with Canelo afterwards? He was
like,
just,
it is what it is.
yeah. He's like, I try everything.
Pues I could not figure out el style is this guy. It is what it is. No excuses, but this guy.
Yeah. Well, he did mention that he's lost the step. Like, he was trying to do things. He's like, but my body doesn't let me do them anymore.
No shit.
Yeah, so he's like,
no.
I did try to shift my strategy to try to match him speed for speed or whatever, but he's like, my body was saying, no, it's not going to happen. So
that's like me in jiu-jitsu. It's always like,
That's me.
I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but man, my body just,
yeah. Dude, I love jiu-jitsu, but I've had to take a long break because my body keeps fucking breaking. My shoulder is just torn. I've done stem cells now with Ways to Well a few times, and it still hasn't healed up properly.
They're out there in Tijuana?
No, here in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah. Brigham Bueller. He came on the podcast. It's called Ways to Well. do stem cells. It's one of a handful of companies that are actually allowed to do it. I don't know how. But
How'd you hurt your shoulder?
jiu-jitsu.
Really? What they do? They did.
I think it was probably a head and arm triangle. Yeah, exactly.
Like
when
that
it's
right
stretched
there?
across right there.
That right there I just did. That hurts so bad, bro. But I've had this right shoulder thing, and I think it's from like trying to bench press and do push-ups when you don't really do them right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think initially. It's just always.
Did you typically have like a wide grip on your bench press?
I can't really remember, just kind of like medium, but I try to adjust and like bring the elbows in, but it just never fails where it's like, all right, dude, you were fine when you stopped trying to do bench pressing for a long time, and then you're like killing time in a city for a flight, and you hit the gym, and you decide to bench press, and now here you are.
Yeah, well, it's just like we're getting older, man. Like all this shit started when I was like 40. Right when I turned 40, I was like, fuck, man. And injuries take forever to heal up now. You know, when you were younger, you'd be good in like a couple of days, maybe a week or two at the most. And that was for like a bad sprained ankle or something like that. Now it's like, fuck, that thing's going to linger for months. Yeah. It might not even go away.
The other day, I went to open mat at our gym. Shout out Urban Jungle, Houston, Texas. I made it to open mat, and new guy, super athletic, white belt, but he did kung fu like his whole damn life. So he's just a little athlete. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll work with you. Long story short, I feel like I've just been like redlining it. Maybe I'm just out of shape, but it was kind of like in between rounds of just rolling nonstop with a bunch of different buddies for an hour. I'm literally like over on the bench, just like drinking my water and just like, and our gym, it's like a warehouse garage where they just open up the bays, and it's Houston, Texas, right? Yeah. So there's that added element, but I'm just there kind of like my head's down. My coach is like, hey, bro, you good? And I'm just like, yeah, I just, and I'm like, okay, either I've been just, maybe my technique isn't there yet, where I need to have a little bit more game. You're not getting smashed as much. Yeah. And I'm just like, I got to figure some shit out.
How long you been training?
Pretty consistent, about 3.5 years.
Yeah. I was 2, but I'm off and on. Like I said, like I had one of my ribs popped out.
Shit.
Yeah. And ever since then, I'm like, all right, I'm taking a long break.
Was it a lower rib?
Yeah, it was I forget what they call it, intercostal something or another. But it's like right here. And yeah, it popped out. So basically, my coach was on top of me, and I tried to sweep him. And, you know, he's second-degree black belt. Like this, if he doesn't want you to sweep him, he's not. Yeah. He weighs 40, 50 pounds less than me. That's the scary thing about jiu-jitsu. You can have a little tiny crackhead-looking dude, and he will fuck your ass up bad, dude. He'll make you wish you were never born. Yeah. And that's if he wants to, this is what that guy could do. So I thought I had him. I wrapped his arm to his post, and I went, and he just didn't go. And so it must have been his knee or his leg that was like on top.
Squeezing.
Like, it just popped it out. And it was like, oh, and you could feel it just disconnect from the rest of the rib cage.
Has it healed? Your rib hasn't healed?
It's still it kind of, but it's still protruding. So they pushed in as far as they could, and then, I mean, dude, it's fucking horrible. I couldn't take a deep breath for 3 weeks. Imagine not being able to take a deep breath or yawn. And of course, the second that you can't do that, you want to do that as much as possible. Yeah. So ever since then, and then with the shoulder, and then having a knee injury too in the process, I'm like, fuck, man, I might just switch to like kickboxing, something that's less gonna tear everything apart, you know. I think that's probably going to be the road, but I'll still keep like a foundation of jiu-jitsu.
Maybe private lessons just to keep the brain, or even just a lot of like working on I don't know if this is your thing or not, but just like YouTube shit, book stuff, you know, still get a lot out of it.
I still love it.
Yeah.
Like I love it. And dude, like I grew up an athlete. I did football, baseball, track. I was a state level athlete on all of them. And so for me, it's like turning 41. It's like, and then having to like, because we still have that motor if we want. I can turn it on, and I can get with these young wrestler type kids, and I can get after it. But your body is like negative, son.
You did football, track, what else?
And baseball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is a little bit different, man. This is like grappling.
I know. I wish I would have done wrestling, but I think wrestling was like right after football season, right? Is whenever that started.
I regret not doing wrestling only because from what I hear, that's one of the only sports that you could have walked on and got trained up because I never did Little League Baseball and those kinds of things to where by the time you get to high school and they're like, oh, they're trying out for teams. And it's like, you want to try? It's like, bro, I guess. And they see me throw a ball and it's just like, you've never done this, have you? You know, they see you try to hit. Or even like basketball. It's like, oh, I play with my friends. But you literally are trying to make the team compared to these kids who have been doing like the summer camps and like the coaching and like been doing it since 6th grade or something. And it's like, oh, I'll play in the hood, bro. It's like, yeah, that's not going to cut it. So that's one of my regrets. It's like, except I was real sickly. I had like tonsil issues. I always had a fever. I was a run. So the only thing they tried to recruit me for was my school had a
road team?
Yeah. And they were like, hey, little guy, you could be the coxswain. It's the person who sits at the end of the boat because you got to be real little, and you're the one that's able to see and guide while these motherfuckers are actually doing all the work. So that's the only thing they try to recruit me for. But I hear that wrestling is the sport where like you might lose all your matches, but you get to practice with us and we'll show you some stuff. And that would have been good.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
But
you're still gonna get
better
matches.
late than never, you know.
Yeah. So what are you, a blue belt now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started in my 40s, dude. So.
You and me both. We're fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's been such a huge blessing, bro. Like, I needed that extra thing. Like, especially when you're in show business, at least from my perspective, you're constantly in it, constantly just trying to force and just like, you know, what's the next thing? And we got to upload. And it's like, we got to make the content. It's like the tour, logistics, and sell the tickets. And there's so much of that. And you need that other little thing to where it's like, oh, what are you reading? Oh, this is Eddie Bravo's jiu-jitsu book. You know, it's like, oh, what are you watching? Oh, I'm watching a tutorial thing on YouTube. Or like, oh, I'm watching CJI too. And it's just like something else to like, oh man, I'm really trying to learn this, half guard thing, and I'm trying to study these sweeps and just something else for the soul and the brain. And got my daughters in it, so it's been a huge blessing.
That's cool.
So,
do you edit all your own material for your social media content?
A lot of it, yes. A lot of the stuff that goes straight to Instagram, that's like simple, nothing too fancy, a little bit of text, some music. I could do that. But yeah.
Do you have like a manager? Do you have like a team around you?
I have the wifeager.
The
wifeager, yeah.
Does she tell you what to do?
Yeah, take out the trash. Yeah. She's good though. She's like little Suge Knight, pit bull in a skirt. Yeah, she's good. She's actually really good. Like, people sometimes think like, oh man, you got your girl handling your stuff, and it's like she's pretty good at it. And the clubs, when the clubs deal with her and meet her, a lot of times, especially in the beginning, like they wouldn't even know we were together. Like maybe they didn't want to assume, and they'd always ask like, oh, like what agency like did you work for before? Like they just thought she came up in the business when really she had a sign language interpreting like job placement agency when I met her. So yeah, in terms of my team, I have like a couple hired guns, you know, like really smart dudes that help me like get the ebook for Theo Juventino, the guy with the mullet. Yeah. His ebook is hitting the thing. We need to record the audio book. You got like, your guy that helps you with all your podcasting stuff. And you got another video editor that he's way better at it. And then of course, like on the music side, I'm not mixing vocals and making beats and stuff like that. It's like you got these hired guns that produce and help you look like a star. I just got to be smart enough to work with those people.
Right. Do you have your own studio at your house?
Yeah, I got a simple home setup.
Yeah. We're going to be setting that up here pretty soon, probably in the next 6 months. So that'll be my next undertaking, figuring out how to get all this into my own home.
Well, dude, when you find somebody that can help you set it up, let me know. Because I could step my game up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now it's just like a spare bedroom with a computer and a little camera and some lights, but use some nice lights.
These are nice lights.
Nice
Duncan's got these ones that are called cans, and dude, they make your shot look so good. It's so bright. Like, they're kind of like this, but the whole thing is just one great big can. But anyways, brother, thanks for coming on my podcast. I really appreciate you. Why don't you let everybody know where they can find you and what you got coming up?
Yo, I am on tour ChingoBling.com for tickets. Here in September, we're heading to Oxnard, Ontario, California, LA, Covina, California. But we're hitting up everywhere this year, man. Atlanta, Indianapolis. So check out the website, ChingoBling.com. Follow me, share, get a laugh. A few podcasts. So definitely check me out. I just started a new podcast called Backstage. My buddy Rob G, where it's kind of like green room type vibe, the combos we have. I have one with my wife as well, Cafecito Time. So
Nice.
She's really good, bro.
What's it called?
Cafecito Time, like coffee time.
Ah, okay.
And she could talk. So she's got her own following.
Yeah, we got plans to have our own here. Probably next year we're gonna start something.
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
anyways, dude, it's been a real pleasure to have you on here. I'm glad we met, and I'm looking forward to doing this again.
Awesome, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?